Little hearts, big faith.
Bible for kids. What does it mean to love God?
Martin lay on his bed, staring at the ceiling. It was past midnight, but a thought kept circling in his mind, making it impossible to sleep. That day in class, he had heard that he should love God with all his heart, soul, and mind. But what did that really mean? Was loving God like loving his parents, or was it like loving a friend? Restless, he got up, slipped on his slippers, and quietly stepped out of his room. The house was silent, bathed in the dim glow of moonlight filtering through the window. He tiptoed to his father's room and gently knocked on the door. "Dad, are you awake?" A few seconds later, the door creaked open, and his father, with sleepy eyes and a gentle smile, looked at him. "Is something wrong, son?" Martin lowered his head and said, "I have a question. Can I ask you?" His father opened the door wider, placed a warm hand on Martin's shoulder, and said, "Of course, come in." They sat together on the bed. "Dad, today in class I heard that we should love God with all our heart, soul, and mind. But I don't really understand what that means. How can I love God? He's not like you or Mom, whom I can hug or draw pictures for." His father was silent for a moment, as if deep in thought. Then, wrapping an arm around Martin's shoulders, he said, "Son, that's a very good question. When God says to love him with all our heart, soul, and mind, it means putting him first in everything we do. Loving God means making him the most important part of our lives, following his ways, and doing what pleases him." Martin raised his eyebrows. "Like what?" His father smiled and continued, "Like when you help someone, tell the truth, or take care of others. These are all ways to show love for God. Jesus said, 'If you love me, keep my commandments.' John 14:15. This means that when you choose to do what is right, you show that you truly love God." Martin thought for a moment. "So if I don't hurt others, does that make God happy?" His father chuckled and said, "Yes, exactly, because Jesus taught us, love your neighbor as yourself." Mark 12:31. When you are kind to others, you are showing love for God because he loves all of us. Martin's eyes lit up. "So if I want to love God, I should try to act like Jesus, right?" His father nodded and said, "That's right, my son. Just like Jesus said, 'I am the way, the truth, and the life.' John 14:6. If you want to love God, just follow Jesus' example." Martin smiled, feeling a newfound sense of peace. That phrase now held a much deeper meaning for him. He decided that from the next day, he would be more mindful of his actions to show that he truly loved God. His father kissed his forehead and said, "Now it's time to sleep, my little man. Tomorrow is a new day to love God." As Martin rested his head on his pillow, he softly whispered, "I love you, Dad, and I love you, God." That night, he fell asleep with a heart full of peace and a deeper love than ever before.